Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, and it is another special bonus boots on the ground video in Austin. You guys know I had to do a second video on Austin because obviously it's the #1 crashing metro area in the nation. And today I took you guys to a little bit more luxurious community, and I could tell you guys from touring this community, this one is real nice. So I've stepped it up as far as the communities that I'm touring in Austin. And today we're gonna go over prices, we'll go over inventory, we'll go over what's on MLS. And the most important thing is we're gonna do a market analysis so that we're not blind as I'm touring this community. But I could tell you this community here it's absolutely stunning. I mean, I love it here, you guys. I love it. You guys can see this massive house behind me. So, you know, this community has all different types of sizes and styles of houses. But either way, you guys do me a favor before I really dig in, like this video, shoot me a comment, let me know what I can do better as well in this video. And also don't forget, hit notifications. And I really, really hope that you guys enjoy this boots on the ground Austin video. I want to explain to you how this section is being put together. Now, this is mainly a Highlands area right here. You guys can see the building behind me. But so far, I like how they're phasing this out. They're not just throwing up construction all over the place. You can see there's, land everywhere. And most of that land, most of those parcels actually belong to Highlands. So far it appears that Highland is doing the right thing and not just throwing up a whole bunch of houses before they're even sold. But let me throw up the map here right now. Now we're gonna start downtown Austin. We're gonna hop on the 35 North. We're gonna go all the way up the 35 North to the 29 East. Now, once we go a little bit down the 29 East, it's gonna bring us to this great community here at Wolf Ranch. And unlike the last Austin master plan community, this one is clearly a lot nicer. I mean, there's rolling hills. I'm not saying buy right now. It's funny, I have some people watch these videos, they think I'm working for the builder. What I'm saying is like, I'm definitely not working for the builder, right? I'm telling people, especially in Austin, like you probably don't want to buy right now because Austin is experiencing all of the signs of a price crash. But if you had to buy right now and you were able to wait for the trends to have the trajectory they're having right now, then guess what? You actually won by waiting. So now let's go over our market analysis. But first, you guys, I'm gonna sneak up over here real quick and see if I can show you this. This is pretty crazy. There's a couple people sleeping under a tree, but I really want you to see how they're making this house because it's insane. Look at this, guys. Let me pan here. They just woke up, the people under the tree. You see that? Look at how they're making that house. Pretty crazy, you guys. Look at behind me too. They're doing some really nice stuff here. This is nothing like the other communities that I've been to in Austin. But real quick, guys, again, we want to empower ourselves with the data, not our emotions. And we want, we don't want to be flying blind in places like this because we understand now, right? And I've showed you this, that builders play games when it comes to price cuts and incentives. So let's look at our market analysis right now. And remember, the market analysis is for all of the sold homes. So all the sold homes in 2022 in this subdivision. So as we can see here, there was a total of 148 homes sold in this subdivision in 2022. And the average price per square foot, guys, and this is the really, really important piece of all of this, is $251.36. So you're gonna wanna remember that, and that's what we'll be using to compare some of the houses that are active on MLS that I'm about to show you. But I wanna walk up here a little bit just to give you guys an idea of really how nice this area is. The lots are still close together. I understand that. You're still gonna wanna do your inspections. You're gonna wanna make sure, that the home is completed properly and things of that nature. But just comparing this community to the last one, I really like what I'm seeing. Let me pan here. And this goes way down, you guys. Those are nice houses. So see that nice house right there? That's a super nice house. Look at the foundation. I don't know how well you can see that. And this goes and again, this is a part of this subdivision where there's construction from multiple home builders all over the place. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but the technology they have these days to build houses is it's really shocking. So you're about to see the 3D printed houses. I mean, and another thing is, and I'm gonna walk down here a little bit, Perry Homes and Highland Homes have so many vacant lots right now. And you want to know why they have vacant lots? Because they're smart and not just throwing up houses like a lot of other builders. But if you can see down there, you can see how many lots are actually still available. So there's a lot still available in this community. But again, we went over the price per square foot. That's what you need to hold on to. That is your ammunition. So now let's talk about price cuts and where I took y'all to do this scene. I'm telling you guys, this is such a nice community, at least from the appearance. But what you guys see behind me, it appears to be a river camp. It says river camp. It's humongous structure. It looks like it's like some type of clubhouse. You see all of that? So a lot of construction. Looks like there's a river down there as well. So obviously they're not quite done with the amenities here. They're still building stuff, as you all can see from pretty much anywhere I turn. They can't stop. And I want you guys to, ask yourself this question. What happens when the cat is out of the bag and the builders stop building? What happens to all of the employment? There is so much money being pumped into projects like this. It's almost something I can't even fathom. But here's the thing, guys. Let's start with the price cuts. And both of these houses that I'm about to show you have over $100,000 worth of price cuts and a drop from the original listing price. So hundreds of thousands of dollars of price drops. But again, where we're gonna start is price per square foot to get a better indication of just how realistic and accurate those price drops are. So let's pull up our first list. And remember, all of this stuff is active live on MLS. So starting with the first active property, you guys can see that this property is listed for $579,990. What's really important to note is, look down below that, you can see that it is price per square foot of $232. And remember, the average price per square foot here in 2022 was a little over $250. Now what this represents is the listing, and again, very nice house. That's 7.5% under market value. And that may not sound like a lot, but when you're at a higher price point, like a $500,000 price point, that adds up. That could be $30,000 to $40,000. That's a down payment that basically gets washed away. But not only that, again, 7.5%. But let's look at the original listing price so we can see just how much it's dropped. So y'all can see that this was originally listed in July of 2022. So they've been trying to sell this for a long time. It has been cut all the way down to $579,000 like I showed you, and that represents $145,000 off. Right? $145,000 off. So, normally people would get super excited, but we need to look at price per square foot. Let me show you a second listing right now. All right, so here's the second listing. Again, active live on MLS. You can see this is listed for $669,000. Again, what's really important is pay attention to the price per square foot. You can see the price per square foot is $231. It represents 8% under 2022 averages. It's probably even down more than 8%, but all we're doing is comparing 2022 averages. You guys see that person back there? That guy's nice, okay? We are very respectful when we come to communities like this, always looking for signs that are posted, trespassing, always being respectful. But let me show you how much this listing actually went down from the original listing price. We can see here that this was originally listed in October in 2022. So this has been trying to be sold for quite some time. Original listing price, $793K. New listing price, $669,000. That represents, y'all, $124,000 off original listing price. So those price cuts may not be as good as the last community, but at least it's something. 8% is something that's going to help, a lot of people out. So let's take a look at the active MLS inventory, see how many spec homes are on the market and how many of those homes are being sold under 2022 values. But I want to make a point here. There's numerous builders in this community and much of their inventory isn't even listed on MLS. So we could probably double or triple these numbers. To be quite honest with you, I'm only going to show you live active data. So let's pull this up. You can see that the total amount of listings right now active in this community are 43. Again, you guys, I can tell you for sure there's way more than 43 available homes in this community. I can tell you that for sure. Here's what's interesting. You can see that I've checked 16 listings. Now the 16 listings represents listings that are being sold for under 2022 averages. Now here's the thing, you guys. That represents 37% of the total active listings here in Wolf Ranch that are under 2022 values. So 37% under 2022 values. That's pretty good, you guys. And here's the craziest thing of all. Things have only just begun. right? Things have only just begun. We haven't even experienced our confirmed recession. We don't have our inventory dump yet. The Fed hasn't even pivoted. The commercial meltdown hasn't even popped. Credit card debt hasn't even popped. Auto loan debt hasn't even popped. School loans haven't even popped. People haven't even felt the additional increase in property taxes and homeowners insurance, and unaffordability is an all-time high. I mean, come on, y'all. In my opinion, we're just in the second inning here, and it's going to get much, much better. And if you're interested in purchasing a more luxury house in a master plan community and you live in Austin, I would probably be watching this area, because I'm telling you guys, it's really hard to put this in the video, but it's gorgeous. I mean, these are gorgeous houses, at least on the outside. I know I'm not an inspector, but it is what it is. So again, over 40 active spec homes. That puts pressure on the builders, and and that doesn't include the hundreds and hundreds of lots. You guys can see that lot is available and that house is available. So that's one spec home right there, and I'm standing on one lot. And also down the street in front of me, same thing, lots available, spec homes available. So many different stages of construction here. I don't think they're gonna stop the construction. There's shadow inventory all over the place. It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens as we go on throughout the year. So something really, really cool about this community here at Wolf Ranch is the fact that this is the community that is building 100 3D printed houses. This community actually has the largest concentration of 3D printed houses. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't tour that, and the security was super nice. I could have flexed a little bit because it was a public street, but she was so nice, I'm not going to. I just kind of went around this way to the other side of the barricade, but right behind that black tarp is massive amounts of development that's going on right now with basically those new 3D printing machines. I did have my drone pilot fly over this. I'm gonna throw up some overlays so you guys can see. But what's really, really amazing about 3D printed houses is it's done with a printer. There's actually several giant printers on the other side of this that they use to make these houses. And based on what I read, it only takes 2 to 4 people to actually maintain that. And according to many reports, not all, it's actually much cheaper to print houses than it is to build them, and it takes less time. Now, I've also heard things where the opposite is true, that they're about the same price, but overall, a lot of people are gambling and betting that that 3D printed houses are basically the wave of the future. If they can print houses for much less than what they could do to build them, personally, I think there's a lot of positives in that, and it's especially because it also appears that the structure is very, very strong because of the way it's built. But let me throw up an article real quick just to give you guys some facts about the 3D printing here in Wolf Lodge. Construction on a set of 100 3D printed homes is underway in Georgetown's Wolf Ranch community, and that's where we're at right now. Now, as you can see that I highlighted, this will be the largest community of 3D printed homes. The first homes' wall systems are already built, according to the release. Reservations for potential home buyers is set to begin in 2023, with prices starting at about $400,000. So it's going to be really cool to see this. And not only that, this is also really, really crazy. Right next to these 3D printed houses, right next to it, y'all, I don't know if you can see that behind me. See that? Massive brand new like luxury apartments. They're still building it. Y'all, this is insane. This is Austin. Austin's crashing. Why are they putting up hundreds of units of apartments right next to 3D printed houses? This is absolutely crazy. But anyways, guys, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's talk about the rental market, which I think it's pretty important to talk about. A lot of people are afraid that institutional investors are going to come in and buy all these houses and rent them out. And what I've been saying for quite some time, at least for the next couple years until foreclosures hit, the rental market long-term, I'm not talking about Airbnb short-term rentals, which is even worse, but long-term rentals are taking an absolute hit right now for 2 reasons. Number 1 reason, inventory. There's so much inventory right now for short-term and long-term rentals. Number 2, unaffordability. Unaffordability has hit the rental market just as much as purchasing real estate. The wind's actually picking up right now. But anyways, I wanted you to know that I'm standing in a community right now of apartments being built. They're literally building 900 900 apartments, 900 units right now. I'm standing right in the middle of it. And right over that way is where Lennar's building those 3D printed houses. So, you know, these apartment complexes are right next to that master plan community. So if you were an investor or if you were someone that wanted to invest here and rent out a house, understand that, you know, you have an overwhelming amount of competition. Now, I would say just from, you know, looking around here, I would say maybe 25, maybe 30% of this humongous apartment complex is filled. It's probably even less than that, honestly. But again, 900 total units. I'm actually creeping up here just to kind of show you guys how big this is. Let me pan now. You guys can see all that behind me. Huge, right? Massive amounts of inventory. Look at that. All right, let me get out of the frame. I know how you guys hate me in the frame. See all that down there? Y'all see all that? And there. Look at that. Lots of inventory. Lots and lots of inventory. So when the cat's really out of the bag here, this housing market crash, it's gonna be worse than 2008 in some areas, okay? Again, area depending. Not all areas are experiencing what Austin is experiencing. Some areas are extremely stubborn, but Austin is just not one of those areas if you're on the sideline just like me. In conclusion, I still think that this community is gonna get rocked hard, but as far as immediate distress, I would say between 1 and 10, this community would probably be a 5. Not any lower than that because again, 37% of the active listing is listed below 2022 averages. So that's why I say 5. I'm not going higher than that because even though we've seen a lot of shadow inventory, this place is huge and there's still a lot of vacant lots. And unlike some of the other areas that I have been to, you know, they're throwing up houses on every available inch of land. So I think this is a little bit better off, especially if we compare the last Austin community that I toured with you guys. So this community is in a little bit better shape, but nevertheless, luxury communities like this, they still get rocked during housing market crashes and they usually get rocked hard. All in all, I definitely think this is an area to keep your eyes on. I think they're gonna be blindsided with the lack of buyers this summer. I think everyone will be blindsided by that. And do me a favor, I wanna know y'all's opinion. Do y'all think that 3D printed houses is the wave of the future? Do y'all think that's a solution to more affordable housing? I'm not quite sure about it. I want to believe in it, but I'm not 100% sure. Do me a favor, guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, give me a quick like. Don't forget a comment. Let me know what I could do better. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming along this tour with me. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck. And I hope you win.